Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Nick. I'm here today and I'm checking out, doing an initial review on the Supro 1605 RJ64 Reverb. I'm going to split this review into three sections. The first one, I'm just going to give my initial thoughts when it showed up, the construction, the aesthetic, that kind of stuff. The second one, I'm going to do a playing example where I show you some tones with a Strat and with a 335, just so you can get the mix of single coil and humbuckers. And then the third section will be just my overall summary and review thoughts of this product, the Supro 1605 RJ64 Reverb. That's a mouthful to say. At the outset, let me get this out of the way. This disclaimer that, it's all subjective. This is just my opinion. So it's totally fine if you disagree. It's just my opinion, just my ears. Yeah, just wanted to get that out of the way. So let's get into it. I got this thing. I bought it as an open box item from a retailer. So I got a little bit of a discount, but at the time of this video, I think these things go for $9.99 new. So I was happy to get a little bit of a discount. FedEx driver pulled up. I ran down my stairs like we do. I'm so excited to get it. The guy hands me the box and this is how he hands it to me. He goes, here, and this is literally the first thing that I see on that is this, like, it's not written in huge writing, but for some reason it catches my eye that it's made in China. And I gotta say, I was just bummed, like my heart just went funk, because I really thought that this thing was made in America. Now, that's my bad. If I didn't know and if I didn't do my own research to know that this thing was made in China, that's bad on me, and I totally own that and accept that. It's just that I really did think these were. I thought I looked online and saw that these were made in America. I thought the Blues Kings and the Delta Blues were made overseas, but I thought that these were made over here. So I pulled the thing out of the box and I'm like immediately like, oh, no biggie, because this thing is like the most beautiful amp I've ever seen. Like, it looks like a piece of furniture. Like, I could set it on the dining room table right in the middle and my wife would be like, wow, what a lovely centerpiece. It's that beautiful. So I was just really excited about that. I started to play it a little bit and I was like, I just got curious and I was like, I wonder if it's got, since it's made in China, I wonder if it has those cheap ruby Chinese tubes. I can't stand those things. Those came in like my Vox AC10 and I just do not like those things. So I was planning to just pull those out, replace the tubes. I take the thing apart. You do have to like pull the back off and undo some screws to get to the tubes. It's not like you can just reach in the back and pull them in and out. But when I did that, I was pleasantly surprised to find that it had a JJ tube in the power section of the 6v6, and then the other three preamp tubes were electro harmonics. Now, it did raise a bit of a question because I've never gotten a tube amp before that has, unless it's used, that has a mix match set of tubes. They're usually all like the same brand, so I don't know, but I was pleasantly surprised to find out that it didn't have those crappy Chinese tubes in it. That said, I will say the reason why I opened it in the first place was because I was hoping that I could get a little bit better tone from it, and I was trying to find reasons why maybe it didn't quite have what I was looking for right off the bat, but I'm jumping ahead of myself. What I was going to say about that was when I pull the inside out, everything is put together really nice. I'm not an electrician. I don't know about the insides of amps or anything like that, but I can tell that, all the solder joints looked really nicely soldered and everything looked really clean. It was really heavy. I mean, this is actually like a pretty heavy amp for how small it is. It's about the same size as my Fender Vibrochamp 68 reissue. And this one's like heavier. You can just tell it's beefy and put together really nice. So that was the construction of the amp. So let's get into some playing examples here. Okay, so let's get into the tone section of this. For this, I'm going to give the disclaimer that this is not like really like a proper like demonstration. I only have this mic'd up with like a little audio recorder thing. So if you're looking for like a really good tone example, there's some videos out there where they take like really good care to give you like a nice studio sound. For this, I'm going to play fingerstyle, like a chord progression, and then I'll just play some licks, noodle around on both my Stratocaster and my 335. So here we go. Okay, so third section is just kind of like my overall thoughts about this amp. Again, now would be a good time to tell you, just like, this is just my opinion, but this is a sweet amp. I like a lot of things about it. The good, I think it's like super warm. It's got this like nice vintage warm vibe to it. You heard on like the straps. It's beautifully put together. Like, again, it's, you know, it's like a furniture piece the way it looks. I love it. And also, you know, the construction is really seemingly so far pretty rock solid. So that's that. The I guess the big question is like, I couldn't see myself like plugging this amp in on the regular compared to my Vibro Champ. I think I would probably go that route most of the time, just because it maybe has more of a pleasing sound to me. Like with this, a couple of the things that I personally found that were maybe not so favorable for what I'm looking for in an amp is it feels like the high end on this, it's got this sort of like, maybe like a sizzle or like a hair or maybe like a paper, or I would almost describe it like the quality of like a China cymbal, where it's just got like maybe like a little bit of a trashy, not trashy like garbage or anything like that, like just trashy like it's hard to describe, but some sort of top end sizzle that is maybe like unappealing to my ear specifically. Also, you know, one big thing that I've just found with amplifiers in general is like, if you're continually tweaking them, trying to find the sound you're looking for, that kind of is its own indicator. And with this, in the week I've had it, I've been doing that all week. Like I said, I mean, I like pulled the guts out to see if, oh, maybe it's the tubes, maybe it's the tubes, maybe if I change the tubes, you know, maybe if I like crank the treble, maybe if I do this or that, you know, all week I've just been fiddling with it compared to all the Fender amps that I have where I just plug them in. Doesn't matter where they're set as far as the EQ, it just sounds good. So that's kind of that. I mean, you know, and then another thing I want to talk about with this is the reverb on it. You know, the thing that drew me to this is it's got a spring reverb that's tube driven, which I thought was the coolest thing for a 5-watt amp, the fact they actually did that. But the actual reverb on it, to me, I could never find the right level. Like if I turned it up, you know, it was like too much, it was too present and too washy, or it was like not enough. I was always trying to find the right area where I could just get the perfect sound. And I feel like with this thing, I got a good sound. You know, as you heard the tones, I mean, they're good tones, and that was just like middle ground, but I could never find like the exact great sound that I was looking for. And, you know, that combined with like the fact that it's made overseas when I thought it was going to be made in America. And for roughly $1,000, you know, I think overall, I'm just going to keep looking. I think I'm going to send this thing back. I'm so happy to have had the opportunity to finally check this thing out, because I've literally been tempted by it for years. And I always told myself one day I'm going to get one of those. And even though it's not the amp for me, it might totally be the amp for you or somebody else. No discredit to Supro. I think they did a great job with this amp. Again, looks awesome. It's got a sound all its own. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was helpful. I hope it at least gave you a little more information than you have before you watched it about this Supro 1605 RJ 64 reverb. Have yourself a great day, and we'll see you next time.